are live.
Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome to Vancity Beats, Eats, and More. Thank you for joining us. We are live streaming right now on YouTube. My name is Jamal, and we are at the Dusty Flowerpot Cabaret for today's interview, and our special guest is Kat Single-Dain. I'm really excited to be here today because I have been in the Vancouver creative community for a little bit now, but I am so excited to keep discovering about different organizations and cool pursuits that people are doing, and I feel like that list is endless. Like, I keep discovering more and more.
Nice.
And I first came across Dusty Flowerpot through the Beaumont because I am involved with the Beaumont, and I remember meeting Michael and Michael telling me that, you know, there was this space nearby that you were occupying, and today we're in that space, and this is my first time visiting, walking in and just seeing all the props and the space where you host everything is super cool. So I'm really excited to be in this space with Kat. Today we're going to learn more about Kat's life, creative pursuits, artistic pursuits, and we're going to talk about the Dusty Flowerpot. So
Is this an intervention?
No!
I'm kidding. We're going to talk about Kat's life. We're going to bring in some of her family.
You know, we didn't go fully into all the details before coming here, so we have some surprises coming up.
This is your life.
Yeah.
Cool.
What are you doing with your life? My parents are in town right now, so yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I want to mention that we are on the stolen and ancestral lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations, and we're very grateful to be here. I personally am a child of immigrants who came to settle here, and so I'm still learning about like that and my role in this place, and learning about how these lands have been appropriated so that we could live here. So I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful that these lands have been cared for so long so that we can live and grow and play and build our creative pursuits here. So thanks again for joining us. Kat, how are you feeling today?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm fine. I'm great. Actually, you know, throughout the day, it just kind of, goes in waves. Things, but generally okay.
Yeah.
You know, like things are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
This is kind of like the median.
Yeah, the median is like above above the middle.
Okay,
It's like the average is up pretty high.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy overall.
Yeah.
With my life.
That's great.
Yeah, so this whole plan you have is not needed. I don't need any of it. Yeah, anyway.
No. I'm feeling above average.
Average.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes better and sometimes less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we caught you at the above average times today. Can you tell the people watching about the space that we're in right now?
Yeah. So this is the home of the Dusty Flowerpot Cabaret Society, and therefore we call it the Dusty Flowerpot Cabaret. We also call it the Dusty Flowerpot Studio occasionally, so like you could hear it that way. You might also hear it as the Dusty Flower Shop, but we're trying to get over that.
Okay.
Because we actually have people calling me asking for flowers. So we decided to do, never mind, change that whole thing, and we're shifting back to Dusty Flowerpot Cabaret. So the space is city-owned. It's owned by the city, but it's the only city-owned unit within this entire building. So the building is called the Artiste. However, it is actually all owned by one mega corporation. And so we we exist here, and we're kind of a little bubble in this building.
Yeah.
Because we're a nonprofit entity, and the city of Vancouver owns the space. We have a great relationship with them regarding our use of it. What else can I tell you about the space? It looks nothing like when I first started working here. So I myself, on a personal level, walked in here in 2009. Was brought in by Public Dreams Society to reinvigorate and change the Parade of Lost Souls.
Okay.
Not personally, just me, but me, Andrea Curtis, and Ari Lazar brought in to do something different with the parade because it had been canceled the previous year.
Okay.
It was getting too big, basically. They couldn't handle it.
Okay.
Anyway, so brought in the Dusty Flowerpot to come on board and partner with them. And so that's when I first walked in this space. And we worked alongside them for about 3 years. Then they closed their doors, went bankrupt. And I was the only person working for Parade of Lost Souls at the time, left. And Public Dreams said, "Hey, Kat, will you continue the parade?" And yes, I said. And sorry, I should say Jeanette Bishop was working with me on Parade at that time too. So me and her were like, yeah, we're doing this, and that's because we knew it would lead potentially to the space as well.
Okay. So
it was all a big, long-term road
Yeah.
that led us here. It wasn't by our design, but it so happened that we ended up with the space after applying when Public Dreams went bankrupt.
When you first walked into the space, how did you feel?
Oh, at that time it was quite different.
Yeah.
So like it didn't feel like home necessarily to me. Over the past, we've been here for 10 years officially as us.
Congrats.
Yeah, totally. Since November, actually.
Nice.
November 1st, 2023 is our 10-year.
Wow, that's huge.
Anniversary here. Yeah. And so over that 10 years, and especially in the last 2 years, we've made a lot of changes in the space and renovated, put in this floor. The disco floor, of course, comes from Disco Inferno, the interactive disco musical that I just wrote and happened in April. All of this stuff is from various shows that we've done, and it's all come together after, like, as a buildup of 10 years. Yeah. So when I first walked in, I would say I just felt like, probably honestly, I felt nervous because I was probably walking in here for the first time, meeting new people, etc. But it was all white walls, concrete floor, lots of desks, and it was just used differently.
Yeah.
So we've made it dusty, literally.
Yeah.
And also figuratively for our uses.
And like, did you see the potential in it too? Like, did you know you wanted to be a part of being in the space? Yeah,
although that wasn't first and foremost in my mind. I was just working for Public Dreams for quite a long time, like 3 years. It came as a surprise even to me, even working for them, that they were going to go bankrupt. And at first my thought was, we need to like save this society. Like that was the first thing. And it just wasn't in the cards for them. They were in debt, and I could go into detail around that, but
no, it's all good.
Yeah.
What were they involved in other endeavors as well, other than Parade of Lost Souls?
And people ask me about that a lot because they used to do Illuminaries, which was a really well-loved festival. It's the Lantern Festival that used to happen in July around Trout Lake.
Nice.
And it's awesome as well. It was an awesome festival, but it didn't come. We don't have the capacity to create 2 festivals per year because we actually run Parade of Lost Souls at a loss. I don't get paid for Parade of Lost Souls, and it's a huge amount of work for me personally. So there's no way that I was able to take on 2 parades or big festivals like that per year on a volunteer basis.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's not the ideal. We're not ideally not trying not to pay me. It's just that it just takes so much. It takes more budget than we have.
Yeah.
Is the fact.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one who's doing the fundraising, and so it's basically falls on my shoulders to either get it done or not. And I just choose to get it done. But anyway, Illuminaries is amazing. If anyone out there would like to put in the time to produce it, we could help, because we have lots of ways to help make it happen. We just can't put in
you need a collaborator.
Time. The producer time is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone out there with some extra energy for community event planning and organizing and fundraising, you know who to reach out to. Looking for collaborators.
I'll be right here waiting.
Did Dusty Flowerpot Cabaret Society begin before 2009?
Yeah, not the society. No, we became a society in 2013.
Okay.
January 15th on my birthday.
Wow.
Just so happened. That was like a complete fluke. Yeah. But yes, we existed before that. So in 2007, it was formed as a collective. And we did a bunch of shows as a collective, like a huge group of people, you know, like 20 to 30 people per show. Yeah. And all collectively, like, putting in creative energy, ideas, co-writing, you know, just everything. It was all amazing and super chaotic, of course.
Yeah.
Like, our first show, was it the first show? I think it was the second show. I remember co-creating the end of it, like, how are we going to end this freaking show? Half an hour before we opened.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the basement, in the basement of the Ukrainian Hall.
Oh my goodness.
This is called The Listening Jar. I mean, they're wonderful productions. Like, those were really magical times and really magical productions that people remember us for as well, like if they saw those. So it's awesome to work collaboratively, and of course it's a huge animal. It's a beast to do that. And so, so the first year that I actually, on a personal level, directed something for the society was 2010, and that was Hard Times Hit Parade. And then, and then pretty much just continued from there. And then we became a nonprofit society in 2013. And with the goal of maintaining that initial seed of still creating shows that are collaborative in nature, but do have just like to kind of take what worked and take what didn't work and move it forward. So they're collaborative in nature, but they do have a director, they do have a writer, they do have, you know, some structure around it, which,
Yeah, I'm really interested in that, like the collective coming together that you mentioned for those early shows. Like, how did everyone come together?
So at the very beginning, Andrea Curtis, awesome person, producer, artist, you know, like visual artist. She brought together a bunch of different theater artists and companies. It was Playmore Theater, where I came from, and Chris and Jack came from that. Anyway, a bunch of us came from that.
Okay.
And then there was Real Youth Society, so it was like Mark and Erica. And then there was, what were they called? They were called something and became Ancient Rugged Revival. Anyway, so another group, Ancient Rugged Revival, Nyana, Philco, Candace Roberts, who else? Oh, Taryn D came from that. Anyway, and then Jordan Bent was kind of an individual artist. I hope I'm not forgetting people. There was Ari Lazar. He came in on the first production. Yes, okay. Anyway, this is memory lane. So lots of people, basically. She brought us together and said, hey, let's collaborate on an art opening. It was like an art opening that she wanted to create, like with some theater involved in it. So that's how it happened. Like somebody with the eye for, I guess, like a bunch of folks that would get along. Brought us together. And we never ended up doing that show, but we ended up doing the Valley of Ashes, which was a different show. And so,
But you all, you know, the union started there.
It started there. Yeah. Totally. Yes. And Andrea was really highly involved in producing those first few shows, like Valley of Ashes, Listening Jar, and Village Project was the next one that Jordan Bent took producing lead on.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So there's lots of history there before we actually became a nonprofit.
Yeah,
and
shout outs
got here.
to everyone who was named and those who weren't. You mentioned you came from a theater.
Yeah, it was a company that an ad hoc kind of theater company called Play More Theater.
Yeah,
it was from the Work Less Party, so it was Work Less, Play More.
That's so good.
So the Work Less Party kind of created or instigated this theater company that was like a parallel thing, and so the Work Less Party. I just keep using instigated. Like it was like, hey, you folks, you should create this show. It's going to be about. It was the Church of Pointless Consumerism. And,
yes.
Yeah, and so it was a church ceremony.
Yeah.
Where we all praised money, and all the audience were congregation and would sing the songs. I did all the choreography. Jack Garton was the priest. Peter Prophet, the prophet of profit, and it was amazing that we did that show 2 years in a row because it was so fun.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's where I came from, was Play More Theater.
So the Work Less, Play More, that was part of Play More Theater?
Or Work Less Party of Canada?
Oh, it was a political party.
Officially a political party.
Okay.
Conrad Schmidt.
Wow.
Shout out to him as well. Yeah. So he was the seed. I mean, I guess that's like the moral of the story is like you can have such a huge effect on the world around you without necessarily even knowing it. So even just bringing two people together, you never know what's going to end up happening from that. That's a special thing, is bringing people together.
You sharing these stories is bringing me back memories, because when I first moved to Vancouver, I worked with the Mural Fest, and I worked with Andrea a little bit. And I remember we were just working or hanging out in the workplace or like driving somewhere or something. And Andrea was telling me about the Work Less Party and about this church.
The Church of Consumerism.
Yeah,
she was in it too. She played the daughter of Peter Prophet, the prophet of profit, who was like vegan and just so opposite of him. Yeah.
Woke.
Yeah.
So how was your upbringing, and how did you get into all of these performance expressions?
I'm trying to think of why I ended up here. I think it's a mystery to me, because over my lifetime, I think I've fought against a tendency to not want to be on stage or like not want to perform, not want to, I don't know, be in the spotlight. Like I oscillate between those two, and I think that's kind of common among people who do performative arts. So there was always, I guess, just enough to push me back into it over my lifetime that's how I ended up here. But it's a little bit of a mystery. I think when I grew up, I was studying dance consistently, and I think that has been my into theater, is that I feel confident in dance because I took it from like a young age. All throughout high school, I went to university for dance, and I studied contemporary dance at Berkeley, and so I felt I had the confidence to like say, yes, I can choreograph a musical when I got out of university.
Yeah.
So I think, and then everything, like now I do much more than just dance on stage. I might do like stand-up comedy in a way, or sing. Like I'm singing in lots of bands. I play brass in
instruments.
bands. Stuff like that. So that's been I think it just snowballed from feeling confidence in one area only.
Yeah.
Like solo. Like when I first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I first started, I was not confident in any other area. Like definitely it grows over time.
It was rooted in the dance, and it spread into these other areas.
Yeah.
How did you get or develop like loving dance?
Just naturally. Like, yeah, I remember being a kid and always making up dances for my parents. Watch this, like, okay, no.
To any songs?
And they're like, we've seen that before. I'm like, no, I made some changes. Sit down, you know? Like,
Pay attention.
Yeah, to like Phantom of the Opera, or, oh my God, I remember doing Hey Big Spender, which is like a song that takes place in a brothel.
Okay.
You know, but I didn't know that as a kid, and I was just like, I did this number. It's called Hey Big Spender. Sit down. Yeah. So I was like drawn to like Bob Fosse, Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly. Yeah, I liked old stuff. Yeah.
Was there anyone that you saw that made you think, I want to do this?
Fred Astaire did, but, you know, didn't have illusions of being Fred Astaire because he's, I don't know. I don't know if there was a person that I thought, I'm going to be that person.
Yeah. Or I want to do that like this person, or they make me feel like I want to dance or perform.
I feel like there's probably a yes in there somewhere, but I don't know. It doesn't pop out to me.
Did you grow up in Vancouver?
Oh yeah, there's the yes. Sorry. It's swing dance. When I saw swing dance, then on film, then I was like, yes, I want to do that. I want to be those people. Yeah. And then I started learning swing dance after that. Yeah. I didn't grow up in Vancouver. I grew up in Toronto.
Okay. Mm-hmm. When did you make your way here?
2001.
Okay.
Yeah, because the world was ending, so. You remember that? Y2K.
So you wanted to be on the West Coast for that?
Yeah.
Or after you made it past? You're like,
I wanted to see it for one time before it was all over. Yeah. I moved out without even having been here, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just took a leap.
What was it about swing dancing that you loved and fell in love with?
The energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I don't know, maybe I can't speak for most people, but when you watch it and you feel that energy, like it's like jumping but dancing at the same time. So you're like, that looks like fun. And it actually is fun. Like when you do it, you're like, it changes your mood.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so much expression in it too, from like the expressiveness of the movements. Like they feel large, and then and like you said, it changes your mood. And I feel like you can see that on people's faces too when they're dancing, doing swing dance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we learned it in high school or junior high.
Yeah.
In gym class.
Yeah.
We learned different types of.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's lucky. So you had somebody teaching you swing dance. I wish.
Well, now you teach it, right?
Yeah, but not to kids. That's actually, I would like to do that. I was thinking, because then you could call it swing kids. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I don't know, there's something about just moving, and especially moving to a beat and with other people, like in partnership.
Yeah.
All those things mashed together, they're kind of like the perfect mental exercise, like the perfect physical exercise, social. It's just kind of this mishmash. Like, and yeah, once you like it, you kind of never go back, I guess.
Yeah.
But lots of people don't even get to that place because it is intimidating maybe to start.
Yeah, actually, Kazi introduced me to the Hustle.
Oh, yes, Hustle community.
Yeah, the Hustle at
nice.
Robson Square.
Yeah.
And they meet up in the summertime when it's warm at Robson Square, like every Tuesday, and have a beginner hustle class and then like an open jam. And I resonate with that.
Awesome.
What you mentioned about like the partner dancing.
Yeah.
Like there's some really fun element about finding that synchronicity or rhythm or not with someone,
Exactly.
but learning as well.
Yeah.
But it takes like that team to learn as well.
It takes two.
Yeah.
To tango.
And swing.
Yeah, I know. I wish that it weren't the case, but we run our swing events
on
every
Tuesdays.
Tuesday.
Yes.
And so I can't ever go to the hustle thing, but I would love to get into that more as well. I mean, I got my thing, I guess, so I don't need to hustle. But also, like, I'm so into disco, you know, wrote a whole disco musical.
Yeah.
With Shirley Nome.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shirley Nome.
Amazing.
Shout out.
And Shirley did the music?
Yeah. So she wrote the music and lyrics, and I wrote the story and directed the show. But anyway, yes, I got to collaborate a little bit with the hustle community there. So
nice.
Yeah. So a couple of people who were part of that community were in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also roller dancers too. So I got to bring together the different.
That's amazing. Yeah. And this floor.
And this
was in the show.
Yes.
That's so cool. I mean, reading about the Disco Inferno play, it sounded, I didn't get to see it, but reading about it, it just sounded extravagant. It was like, there were so many components to it, but also what I think is cool about Dusty Flowerpot and your productions is that there's this interactive element. And would you say that's one of the foundational elements that make Dusty Flowerpot Productions dusty?
Yes.
Yeah?
I definitely would. Yeah. I guess the things that I think of as dusty are that a production is interactive, just like you said. Like the audience plays some kind of role. So that they know what they are walking in. Like I'm not just me. I'm actually me at a disco now. I'm me at a dance marathon in 1933. Whatever it is. And then the other thing would be like that. There's multiple different arts going into it, like genres. So you would have music. You would have dancing. You might have something else like puppetry. Or something beyond. Just like an average theater show where you just have, I don't even want to say that because theater can be all kinds of things. But it's not just talking, that's for sure. We have, multiple things. And then like what I mentioned earlier, the collaborative element nowadays more becomes like that the actors chosen have a script, but they also can improvise because, and that's pretty much the way it's always been, except for before we didn't necessarily even have a script. Like it was more loose in the earlier days. Now we do have a storyline, we have scenes, blah, blah, blah. But I would never want to take away that element of an actor being able to improvise with the audience, with each other, that they know. The important thing for me, directing shows now, is that the actors know their character so well that they can just react or make up new stuff on the spot that like works within their character. You know?
That's so cool.
Yeah, because that element, like, oh man, it's so awesome to see. I like to see live theater because it's alive, right? And so when you see characters who are like fully developed to the point where they are basically living their lives in front of you, and maybe something new happens each night, that's exciting.
That's
I like
really fun. But also it makes the whole cast have to stay ready. And there's this element
present.
Present. And there's this element of spontaneity that can happen at any time. It's not like confined to the rigidity, I guess, of like memorizing your lines or something like that. There's this openness in it. And like, do people get caught off guard from?
Yeah. I mean, but I'm trying to think of like an example. I don't know. I think people do, but if they're in character, then it's not even off guard. Because you just react to it. And if and I can definitely think of examples of characters within shows who are wild cards.
Yeah.
Like they're meant to be wild cards, and so like there's in Disco Inferno, Bobby Johnsy, the furniture resale man.
Yeah.
You know, he's the kind of guy that like goes out to do a hustle and then ends up stripping down almost naked.
Yeah.
You know, and like so his character for sure is a wild card.
Yeah.
Like you can just
leave it all on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's his role. He has to shock you.
Yeah.
You know, like that's good.
Are there any of those characters like that you mentioned where people are almost like living their character? Like, are there any characters like that for you?
Oh, yeah. Well, Gloria is my alter ego that definitely lives inside me.
Can you tell us more about Gloria?
So yeah, Gloria is over the hill chorus girl. So she was like almost famous back in the day. You know, never quite famous.
Just about.
Just just like still 6 degrees of separation. You know.
Yeah.
And so she got fired, you know, from dancing because she injured her groin muscle, and she likes to say that she didn't think it was that big a deal, but he pressed charges, you know. So then she went on to like relationship counseling, even though she's horrible at relationships herself, and just like blows through husbands like toilet paper. And so now I'm her manager. Like she's written some books. Her book series, The Power of Not Now I'm Busy.
Power of Not Now I'm Busy?
The Power of Not Now I'm Busy. There's examples on the bar I can show you. She's written The Artist's Way Out.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's a spiritual guide to giving up on your dreams. She's also written What to Expect When You Were Unexpected.
Ooh.
Yeah. Deep.
Yeah.
No, we don't sell many copies of that one.
People don't want to face it. Yeah.
Who can you give it to? The other ones are the other one, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, got that dark tinge.
Yeah.
But recently have been the culmination of Gloria into. This has developed over the years. Now we're doing slow dance speed dating.
Hosted by Gloria?
Hosted by Gloria. Yeah. One and the same. And so it's basically of slow dancing, but it's real speed dating. So you actually go with dances with everybody. You get prompts. The prompts are ridiculous. They're all icebreakers. It's really good.
That's so fun.
Yeah. So we do that the first Friday of every month. Yeah, and there's different versions for like all, you know, attractions.
Right. I saw on the website there's like
for
there's men who want men or women who want women. So that's really and but doing it in such a fun way. And
yeah, it's a total mashup. You never know who's here. But it was awesome to see the transformation of the room from people coming and not knowing each other at all. Like everyone's single pretty much, you know. And like classic awkwardness of the, you know, the room's like classically awkward. And then by the end we're all like having a freaking dance. Yeah. And yeah, it was great. People didn't want to leave. I was like, I have to go. Bye.
What other events do you host in here?
So we have the weekly Tuesday Swing Out, which is both a lesson at 6 o'clock and then 7 o'clock to 10 is like the dance.
Okay, an open session.
Yeah. And part of that is that it's a live band every week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah. That's why we're not profit. we, like, everything goes back in, you know, but it's an awesome band. It's totally we're so lucky to have them. So Joe Abbott is the leader of the band, and he's a clarinet player as well as like a songwriter, guitarist, saxophone player. He probably plays everything, and yeah. So he leads the band. There's a house band, Dusty House Band.
Yeah.
I feel like now I'm naming names. I should say Josh Roberts is usually here. He's amazing. Winston Mingler on the upright bass. Anyway, so we have a house band, and then people come up and join throughout the night.
To join the band?
Yeah, and then we also have clown church. Totally. On Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you tell us more about that? Yeah. What are we worshiping?
Well, it does depend on who is the man. There were a few that happened.
Multiple in one.
Yeah, they're mostly gibberish.
Okay.
So, you know, but also very meaningful.
Yeah.
Practice of clown, coming together and just like having a place to exercise and work out. That's why we used to call it Clown Gym.
Okay.
When it wasn't a dance jam. Yeah.
That's fun. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Do it right
Oh my goodness.
And then there's other ones like Nothing Never Happens, where you just have to go and try to do nothing, but you find it's impossible to actually do nothing. So that's a deep game.
Yeah.
It's very...
Yeah. I can't even imagine how people would play it.
You have to try, see what ends up happening. Yeah, lots of stuff. There's so many, but clown is like it's kind of cool to have clown church because we've often joked about how clown is kind of a culty thing in Vancouver. Like there is naming names, David McMurray Smith. There's a person, David, who is kind of a guru to a lot of people, but he refuses that title.
Yeah.
So, but like a true guru, right? He won't have it. But anyway, the people who do clown work, you just find like it's so, it enriches the rest of your life, kind of. So then it becomes a little culty, like, you know, and because it's small.
Yes.
It's small. It's people who don't know about it look from the outside and they're like, "What's that clown stuff?" Yeah.
Yeah.
And rightly, it's very weird.
Yeah.
It's super weird.
Yeah.
But it makes life more interesting, and
I mean, we need those outlets to express ourselves, like in these different and goofy or creative ways, and like they're skills too.
They really are.
To practice, and it's really cool that you provide like that space to be able to do it. I can see how it can be culty, can be seemingly culty, you know, the niche, but everyone's super into it,
Exactly.
you know, when they're here.
When you're into it, you're really into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lingo and stuff that nobody else knows what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just get it, you know, when you come here, everyone's on that same level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so at the moment, like those things are kind of like, they're limited to people who have actually taken clown before. Yeah. But at the same time, probably soon we'll be hosting some workshops too for people who don't know clown at all.
Or who want to get in
and want to get
introduced to it.
Yeah.
And so clown, or is it also referred to as like clowning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clowning
Is that
the verb?
Is this something you also perform or?
Yeah,
practice?
Myself personally.
Yeah.
Well, so Gloria came out of clown school.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. The character of Gloria is like a descendant of school.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was birthed?
Yes, I went through Baby Clown with David McMurray Smith through Fantastic Space Enterprises. Oh. Anyway, so Baby Clown, and then I went to Deep Clown.
Whoa.
And Deep Clown was where we created. Everybody does it. You create characters and really like figure out.
Wow.
It's a cool process because parts of your past, parts of your family's history come out through these characters. And whatever you need to laugh at, that's what you kind of create in your character.
Therapeutic.
Definitely can be. Although our guru David would say it's not therapy.
But it's not.
Theater. But it's true. It's both.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the therapeutic process.
Yes.
But you don't want it to be therapy once it's on stage. Obviously, it needs to be theater.
But that process is so interesting that you mentioned it's a therapeutic process, because you said you're looking into yourself, into your childhood, into maybe like insecurities and the roots of them and where they came from. Like that's my experience going to counseling.
Just go to clown instead.
But then transforming that into a character that's still part of you, but where you can use them as an outlet, maybe, or like you said, a way to laugh.
It's a way to laugh at yourself.
At yourself.
Yeah,
that's super interesting.
The clown is always laughing at themselves, and the difference between that and Buffon, let's say, is a different kind of clown. The Buffon is laughing at the audience.
Oh.
Yeah, so the clown, you have to be laughing at yourself, or else you're not going to be funny. It's not going to be funny.
Yeah.
The audience is going to be like, you're laughing at me.
Yeah.
No, I see. Yeah. But and Buffon can be hilarious as well. It's just a different tactic. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So the last show, that was after Disco Inferno, that I wrote as well. Is a musical, is a Buffon show.
Is it the Call Me Cece?
Yeah, Call Me
climate
Cece.
change?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not only about climate change, it is climate change performing a show for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get to meet climate change. She doesn't have a gender at all, but is like a super crass, grotesque lounge singer.
Yeah.
That thinks it's all that. Really, I mean, it should think it's all that. It's what everybody talks about.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over the world.
Totally.
What's happening in front
it's
of our
worldwide.
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's big. It's important.
Really, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
How do you come up with your ideas for plays or theater pieces, or because even Hard Times Hit Parade was a film, right?
Yes, that was the first show that I wrote for the Dusty Flowerpot. Like, as in, I actually wrote it separate from Dusty.
Yeah.
And then brought it to the company to say, hey, we could do this show. So that was in 2010, and it had quite a long life because we went on tour through BC.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And it started off I was in film school since 2001 and wrote a feature film called Hard Times Hit Parade. It was and I almost sold the rights to it to a company in Toronto, but then it was my baby, it was the first thing. So I had to hold on to it, and then it turned into a play. So, how did I come? Oh, I think, no idea is original, I would say, for sure. So, like, I get my ideas from past artists, I think, really. Like, so in this case with Hard Times Hit Parade, it was my mom that said, hey, you're interested in swing dancing, like, why don't you at dance marathons? Like, did you know they even existed? Blah, blah, blah. And then I started looking into it. And so the idea came from my mom. And then, of course, looking into the history. And I read all the books that were available on dance marathons at the time. Yeah, there's not that many. There's like 3. I read so many books.
What is a dance marathon?
A dance marathon back in the 30s, was an event where it was a test of endurance. Yeah. And the longest dance marathon that lasted in history went for 5.5 months.
Whoa.
Yeah, so they became slowly illegal over the States because people were dying. Like,
participating in them?
Yeah. There were a number of like heart failures and stuff
Whoa.
like that would happen. But people could go for that long because every hour they got a little break.
Yeah.
And that break was various across the country.
Yeah.
Mostly happened in States. Anyway, so these so-called blue laws started coming in and shutting them down. So by the 50s, there weren't really any anymore. But it was kind of like a sign of the times. People were very desperate in the 30s, and they were willing to try this endurance test. So it wasn't a super fun time. You know, people were like really hurting. So the musical that I wrote was about the participants coming together, realizing the folly of it all, and collaborating together to end it together. Yeah, but it was a musical comedy as well.
Yeah.
So it had a silliness to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to pretty much all my work would be like, I would characterize it as dark comedy.
Okay.
So yeah.
Why is
musical?
Yeah, musical dark
comedy. Yeah.
And then, why is it important to frame those in that way of a music in a comedy way?
Right.
And dark
why
comedy.
Why is it important?
Yeah.
I guess because I feel like when we laugh at things, I guess because, you know, through that therapeutic process of learning how to create characters in clowning, I feel like laughter is an inroad into healing. And so I think it's just a matter of that's something that I learned personally. I haven't studied drama as much as I've studied comedy, so it's probably just that. I don't think it's more important or anything than drama.
Just a different style.
Just the style that I so happen to have, like, you know, gone into.
And you probably love to laugh.
I love to laugh. I'm the best audience member. Invite me to any show, and I'll make it sound so good from the audience. Yeah. I'm a big laugher in the audience. Yeah.
I feel like I would be too.
Yeah, you would be. Yeah.
So I want to ask you about Parade of Lost Souls too, because I'm like I said, moving to Vancouver. I actually just moved to East Vancouver earlier this year. Before that, I was like in the Southwest. So I'm in the thick of it now, like near commercial. And my experience has been incredible. Like the energy around the neighborhood, around commercial Britannia, like Grandview Woodlands, like that, the whole vibe of it has been really positive for me settling into there. And like, just, it feels like it's been a neighborhood for such a long time, and there's that neighborly vibe, people talking to each other. Like today, I went for a walk, and someone walking their dog just like saw a neighbor and went up to the door, and you know, like that type of stuff, which is really nice to be amongst. And can you tell us more about Parade of Lost Souls and like its significance to East Vancouver?
Totally. I noticed that about East Van too when I first moved here, 2004. Moved to East Vancouver. Yeah. And loved that about it. I felt like I was on Sesame Street. And I was like, this is heaven, a dream come true. So 2004, I started going to the parade. It's been running since the early 90s.
Wow.
And Paula Jardine started it, along with a bunch of people who were part of Public Dreams at that time, kind of, I think, similar to DFC, a collaborative beginning, you know? Anyway, so the parade started in that exact same area that we currently run it.
At the Britannia lot there?
Yeah, well, I say exact, but it was the Grandview Park. More, and it would weave around the streets and the alleys there. And the goal is kind of actually to shift it over there over time too. We've had reasons for keeping it on Britannia property that are mostly budget related. You have to pay more money to go on streets, basically. for security and
Yeah.
all these other reasons. But yeah, so it started in there, and it started with a handful of families just saying we want something to do that's like connected to the other holidays that have been built around the world around this time that are more interested in introspection and like a ceremonial aspect of this time when the veils are thin between the worlds. You know, that's what Halloween is based on.
Okay. The passage.
The passageway, exactly. Day of the Dead.
Accessible,
you know, right?
yes.
Yes, the passage is accessible. Yeah. The harvest time. So they wanted to create something that was more meaningful for them, and that's what they did. And I think it took off because of the concept and how people, like, you know, adults want to dress up too.
Yeah. Fully. Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's an all ages celebration for Halloween that I think is even better than trick or treating.
Yeah.
You know, it's like because kids can come too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We started the Parade of Little Souls about 4 years ago, I want to say. I should know because I started it myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had kids.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, why didn't we think of this ever? But it's because none of us had kids before or whatever. And yeah, so Parade of Little Souls for the Little Souls, and hundreds came out this year. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, does that give you a sense of of the parade? And it feels like it's still important to. It's like East Van created. You know, it's like homegrown East Van, and if it ever stops being like as integrated and as collaborative as it ever was in the community, then it'll lose its juice. It needs that to go on. It can't be like a corporate funded like spectacle.
Yeah.
You know, that people just come and watch.
Yeah.
It has to be something that people want to be part of for it to survive.
Yeah, and that participation and input from the community is essential for it too, and what creates the energy around it
Totally.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the whole point.
Yes.
Like if that wasn't there, then yeah,
I
would have let it die, but it did. You know.
But you couldn't.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm stuck with it. Actually. Yeah. Actually, if there's anyone out there who wants to produce a parade, I got one for you.
Yeah, definitely. Like for collaboration and even like new ideas or just some different fresh legs and minds in there.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah. It needs that. Yeah. Exactly. It needs that on the inside as well as on the outside. Like all the performers, yes, and also on the inside, production-wise, we need more. You know, we need an influx of people that want to do things, have ideas, and that's the whole goal.
That's amazing. Yeah. What projects and things are you working on coming up?
Good question. I've got.
What are you working on?
One thing is Disco Inferno has sequels.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll give you a little secret about it. It's the same storyline, except that there's different antagonists for the disco.
Right.
So the disco is, you know, at stake because the sports bar next door, blah, blah, blah.
They're fighting over property, right?
Balls Sports Bar, yeah. And we have a neon sign up there for that. So anyway, but there'll be different antagonizers for the disco in the future. There's no date set for that, but that is a goal. It's going to be more of a regular thing, maybe yearly kind of. Yeah, Disco Inferno continues. And then also, I've decided to put a musical into a band. And so it's called Dance Band.
Okay.
And it's basically like if you took a musical, as in you have dancing, you have people singing, you have multiple singers all at once.
Yeah.
And then you put it into a band format.
Yeah.
That's what Dance Band is. You have costume changes.
Yeah.
You have fancy, ridiculous headdresses and costumes that happen. You have some drama, you know? So Dance Band is like a musical in a band.
Whoa. So the band members are also acting?
Well, there's like less acting than real music.
Yeah.
But mostly you know that at every song there's going to be choreography.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just music. It's like integrated all with the dancing. So dancing, music, and acting. Yes.
Wow.
Everybody who's in it right now is also an actor. So yeah, that might become part of it too. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. These it's like you're, taking these art forms and like creating new combinations of them. I've never heard of a dance band.
That's why.
It's the first coming to you from the Dusty Flowerpot. Wow. Are there any other art forms or performance expressions that like you're interested in exploring that you'll get to soon?
I've been working recently choreographing, loving hat tricks. And this is old forms. This is like vaudeville stuff, canes, and also like magic in dance. So, putting magic together with dance has been fun.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's another new combo.
Oh, and puppetry too. Yeah. Those big heads that you see around. Yeah, we're actually performing tonight.
Oh, what?
At Lana Lou's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Melody Mangler's mashup.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll be doing like a jazz dance with huge puppet heads on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone watching out there, you really have to come to the Dusty Flowerpot Cabaret space to see what Kat is referring to. Like, walking in here and just seeing all of these pieces, I'm like, where was this from? What play? What could this have been?
They all have a story.
Yeah.
Every single one has.
Yeah.
And you can come every Tuesday, 7 to 10. And additionally, we're doing a thrift store in the band break on Tuesdays as well. So upstairs is a full costume department.
Ooh.
Huge amount of stuff, costumes and also daily wear if you're like me and you like, bright stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then, you come on down and we open up the shop for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find some pieces with lots of flair
that
you can rock.
Yeah, it'd be hard to not find.
Yeah. Where can people find you and Dusty Flowerpot online?
You can find me here, because I'm here all the time, every day. You can find Dusty Flowerpot at the website, dustyflowerpotcabaret.com.
Yes.
That has pretty much everything we're doing on it.
And I love how it looks like a newspaper.
Yeah, so that was
online.
from back in the day of Hard Times Hit Parade.
Yeah.
Yeah. We started the whole newsprint idea back then. And
that's so good.
Continue, yeah. And then where else can you find us? Yeah, we're on Instagram, Facebook. We use that a lot still, just for like events and stuff. And you can find me in the online area. I would just be like Instagram as well, Facebook. I don't have a personal website because everything's on the Dusty right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funneled into there.
Yeah. But my phone number is even like on the website.
Yeah.
So I'm easily found. Yeah.
Nice. And because the show, we're highlighting people in the creative community in Vancity, I'd love to ask you, like, what are 3 organizations or collectives or groups who you love or support in Vancity?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
The's actually a lot.
And you don't
like,
have to, you
can I
do
just
more than 3? Just list
say
them
lots?
off. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Candy Bones Theater.
Cool.
Ragmop Theater.
Yeah.
Travis Bernhardt is an amazing magician. Jack Arden, musician. Bulk and Schmalkin is a band I'm in.
Yes.
Blackberry Wood is a band I'm in. T. Riley, she's a musician.
Yes.
Joe Abbott and all his projects. this feels like the Oscars, and I'm totally like missing
I
lots
put
of
you on
people
the
who
spot,
are going to
but
be
it's
so
okay.
mad that I didn't mention them. I don't know what that was. The Phantom of the Dusty Flowerpot Cabaret. Oh gosh. Well, Melody Mangler, I think, has been doing a lot of curation recently, and she's such an amazing performer herself. Chip and dip.
That sounds good.
Dip and flip. Those are my own acts.
Oh, okay.
I'm totally, off the rails.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
You're
We're
so
coming to the
welcome.
end.
Yeah.
Thanks for opening up the space as well for us.
I should mention that the space is available for people to rent as well.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
It's like, and it's very accessible prices.
Yeah.
So, Yeah.
Show some love, show some support. If you need a space, come here and immerse yourself in like the wonderful, quirky, and eccentric world of Dusty Flowerpot Cabaret.
Yeah.
We've been joined today by Kat Single-Dain. My name is Jamal. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been Vancity Beats, Eats, and more.